Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. What's going on, kick-ass family? It is I, Christopher Rausch, your No Excuses coach. Yes, back for another walk and talk video. So hope you guys are doing awesome, whether you're watching this live or on the replay. Thank you so much. You guys are just absolutely awesome. Misfits for life. That's what you are, misfits for life. The kick-ass nation. Anyway, it's a gorgeous morning here. A gorgeous morning. I don't know if you can really do it justice, but out here on the walk, it's a gorgeous blue morning. It's crisp air. I'm listening to a book. I'm always listening to a book or a podcast in the morning, get my brain fresh. So right now I am listening to Matthew McConaughey's new book. I believe it's called Green Lights. It's on Audible. Hey, good morning, Matt. Good to see you. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, fellow Matthew McConaughey. Listening to his book, Texas Boy. Oh God, it's a great book. The way he reads it is really cool. So if you're into audiobooks, you're into personal development, you're into Matthew McConaughey, check it out. It's really, really good. Good morning, Morgan. Good to see you. Thank you for being on here. So anyways, yeah, it's a beautiful Tuesday. Good morning, Darlene. Good to see you. Good to see you. Kaylee Robinson, hello. Oops, I just took a shower on the sprinkler. You never know what you're going to get on a walk and talk with Christopher. So yeah, I didn't do a walk and talk last week. So there's a couple things I want to talk about today. I want to be specific. I want to talk about emotions and reactions. And I also want to talk about what I'm doing tonight. So emotions and reactions. Obviously, over the course of the last, 7 months at least for COVID, we've all been under a tremendous amount of change. I'm not gonna say pressure. We've been under a lot of change. We've been forced out of our comfort zones. We've been forced out of our certainty. We have had all sorts of things going on in the news media. Good morning, Ellie. Good morning, Chris. Good to see you. We've just had a lot of mishmash, right? A lot of fucked up shit going on, depending on how you want to say it. And so for me, for the most part, all I was doing was serving, was getting up and like doing Facebook Lives, doing special shows, anything to keep people's spirits lifted up. And of course, then we started getting the political election. We got the George Floyd killing. We got all the other different killings and nonsense and bullshit. And so for me, here's one of my weaknesses, is I tend to compartmentalize and compress and suppress my emotions in order to deal with it, because the greater good for me is serving, is being there for you guys, being there for myself, being the light, but also being cognizant that I'm very good, very adept at taking emotions and going, hey, it belongs in that box. I'll deal with that box after I help everybody else and do all that shit. So little by little, with all the frustrations about the anti-maskers or the maskers or this or that or this or that or this or that or this or that, my way or the highway kind of shit, really started to piss me off. What's up, Edwin? Good to see you, brother. We got to do a walk together, dude. We seriously have to do a walk. You know, we got to do it together. We got to do a split screen. That'd be cool. And actually, another buddy of mine, Rick does a walk and talk too, so that'd be kind of funny. But anyways, so I was suppressing my emotions. And then when all this shit came out with the election, I really started getting mad. Really started getting frustrated, disappointed at seeing people who I really respect and admire saying some really divisive things, and in my eyes, not being part of the solution, just to be frank. And I started finding myself getting increasingly more frustrated, increasingly going back to, what's up, Brian? Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you so much. And I started going back to a little of the old Chris. Like, fuck all this shit. Fuck these people. Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, it feels good to kind of be like that, quite honestly, but at the same time, what are we working towards? What are we working towards? Good to see you, Paul. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, seeing that stuff. Dude, seriously. And I've had some pretty intimate conversations with some of my black friends, and how they described what they feel and what they've been through in their life. What I've heard in the last 7 months was more than I've heard before in my life. And I'm embarrassed to say that because I've had black friends all my life. And it was just kind of like, we would talk about it, we wouldn't talk about it. So I had that emotion as well, seeing my friends being hurt, seeing my friends tell their kids, what was going on. So all that emotion was getting inside of me, and I was venting it, but I wasn't doing the greatest job at it. And so I noticed I got to a point, Yes, Brian. Yeah. So I was getting to a point where old Chris was going to come back. You know, old Chris was very, very non-filtered. Old Chris, I tell you to go fuck off right to your face and not even think about it. But that wasn't the positive Chris. That felt good, you know, and I saw my mom do that, but it didn't work for her benefit. So, you know, it all came to a point last week where I wrote a very comprehensive post. You know, I've seen people writing other posts, taking their line in the sand, and I've had people saying, hey, Chris, you have a platform. Hey, Chris, you have a big mouth. You know, not like that. You know, why aren't you saying what it is that you really feel? Why aren't you doing that? And quite honestly, I didn't want to be another dick drawing a line in the sand. I just didn't want to be that. I just, you know, and I know some of my friends are kind of disappointed at me because I went and sit there and put my stake in the sand and say, hey, this is what I believe, and da-da-da. And I did in a roundabout, respectful way, not to push my friends away because we have a difference of opinion. And so I composed this post, and it was my eloquent way to tell people who are racist, bigoted, short-sighted, you know, blah, 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 anything that I didn't agree with, in a nice way, telling them, you're stupid, you're wrong. And I sat there and I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what? If I do this, it'll feel really good, and I'll be justified, and people will probably like me a lot more, and some people may not like me, and that's okay. You know, that's one of the things that I know with an edgier brand like I am, that, you know, the more edgier you get, sometimes people really like you a lot more, and then some people don't. And my point is this: I don't want to be that conduit for divisiveness. I don't want to be that conduit that says, if you're this, then, in a weird way. Because I still have an inherent belief that we're all the same, and that most people are really, really, really good people, that they're just screwed up. And that this isn't about politics and everything else. This is about healing the inner kid in ourselves, forgiving, you know, situations that have happened in our past. It's really powerful stuff. So I instead, you know, said, hey, let me ask two people that really love and respect and care about me. So I sent that post to my mentor, and I sent that post to my coach. And thinking, you know, maybe they might come back and say, you know what, Chris, that's a good idea. You know, it's good to have a voice. It's good to, you know, have your followers know where you stand. But both of them came back and said, no, Chris, you have been working so hard not to be that. Don't be that. And so instead, I was like, you know what, you're right. So, and it goes back to simplicity. What was I focusing on? What are you focusing on? I was focusing on, oh, what's going on today? Who's saying what? Oh, really? And then I was focusing on, good morning. Beautiful puppies.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What was I focusing on? And this is like the key, really, guys. I was focusing on the things I didn't like, the things I didn't want. So, of course, if we focus on the things we don't like and we don't want, what are we going to do? We're going to try to change them. We're going to try to affect our opinion. But what I learned in that was, Chris, you kind of got off your path. You got off your path. It's really not going to serve you or anybody else who reads that to have that kind of divisiveness. And instead, there's a simple way to still state your opinion and still be the light that people need to see, because there are a lot of people that are right on that line. They're right on that line. They're like, okay, if you know about sunk cost bias, if you have put money into something, if you put effort into something, if you put your opinion into something, to change that can be embarrassing. Can be like, oh, well, I don't want to do this anymore. I've been a so-and-so supporter for so long. It would be embarrassing for me to go back and tell all my friends, hey, I decided to change. So we have sunk cost bias. We have a lot of things going on. So for me, I would rather be there and be available to those people who are struggling, and seeing me not being that person and having them say, hey, wow, I really respect Chris. He says his opinion in roundabout ways to where you understand where he's coming from, but he doesn't put it in your face. He doesn't slap you with it. He doesn't say, hey, here. He does it effectively and deliberately in the way he puts his words. That's what I want, because I know that people out of the situation, 50% of the United States, I know I've got people all over the world, 50% of the United States literally believe one person over the other person. So after this is all said and done, I personally want to be the guy that people come to and say, hey, Chris, throughout COVID, throughout everything else, man, you were strong and you were supportive and you were there for us all the time, and you never came about it in that assaulting way. You never came about it in that confrontational way. And for me, that's important. That's important because what would I tell my son? And I struggle with that because we want to be the light for the people in our lives. What would I tell my son? And, I waver on that. And I'm not saying that I'm going to be like that forever. Maybe one day I'm just going to snap and say, fuck it, I just want to be this way. But it taught me that I was focusing on the wrong area. I was not focusing on the things that I wanted to change that really can cause shifts in the world moving forward. I was trying to change people's attitudes because I was uncomfortable with the fact that people were being this way. It wasn't my expectation. And so looking at that, I took a break last week. I said, you know what? I'm not going to focus on that. I asked my wife and my mother-in-law, who is staying with me right now, I said, please, let's not talk about politics. I don't want to talk about the anger. All it does is just make me mad. And I don't want to have angry feelings because then I'm going to react to them. And so this week has been really great. Or last week was really great. I played, took my son out. So again, one of the messages I really want to get to you guys is, what is it you're focusing on? Are you focusing on being part of the solution? Are you being part of the problem? Of course, sometimes we have to make our claim in the stand and everything else and really hold true to that. Good morning again. Of course, we always have to do that and make a stand and speak our minds. But for me, being the glue and being the bridge to help people through life is really what my focus is. So I really wanted to share that with you because ever since I've done that, I have been a lot happier. And guess what? Because I'm not scrolling through Facebook and finding those posts, I don't see them anymore. I've had to snooze 2 people because I really don't want to defriend them, and I see where they're coming from, and I see the possibility in that, and I just don't want to defriend them. They have their spot and their opinion right now, and that's fine. So I just wanted to share that with you because I'm about transparency and vulnerability and growth and letting you guys know where I'm at. I know some people still don't think that's a great idea. Like, Chris, why don't you do this or that? I'm just trying to do the best I can to be the best light and live the legacy that I want to live. And I know that my mentors see that in me, and that really means a lot. They see the potential for greater impact throughout the world. What's up, Scott? Good to see you, brother. They see that. So in order for us to move on in our journey, we have to let go of some of that baggage and that anger that is tied up in resentful feelings in our past. We get that stirred up. Oh, that reminds me. Some of these people actually did remind me of my teacher, reminded me of my mom, reminded me of my old friend. And so that's where that anger was really coming from, is the fact that I was seeing them and still frustrated about that. I was seeing them in that light. And that doesn't serve them either. I don't know what their story is. I don't know what they've been filled with. I don't know if they spent their life around people who had negative opinions and told them to focus on shit. I don't know what their entire journey is, but all I know is that for me, and I know Scott, what's up, superstar? I know that we're about bringing transparency, vulnerability, but still masculinity, still standing in your convictions, still having your confidence, still being able to speak your mind, but at the same time growing and polishing it in such a way that people don't sit there and go, oh, you're one of them. That pisses me. I can't stand that when people say, oh, you're one of them. It's like, what's a one of them? I'm a person that I care about people. We're one drop of water out of a big ocean, right? So really that's important to me. That's important to me. The second thing I wanted to talk about, really, and I just want to thank you guys for your support. I've had quite a few of you private message me and say, hey, thanks a lot for being who you are and getting me through these times and these situations. So thank you for that. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for the reassurance. Good morning. Thank you for all that. It really absolutely means the world to me. You guys are fantastic. My brother Scott over here, we're relaunching our Friday night show coming up here pretty soon, so stay tuned for that. Just really focusing on 2021. That's where my focus is planning out 2021, shows, coaching, speaking, retreats, finishing my book, being an awesome dad, getting my son out and playing once the COVID stuff is over. It sounds like the vaccines are doing good. I'm looking at 2021. I don't give a shit about everything else that's going on. 2021 is going to be a studly year. It's going to be a great year. So I'm focusing on making that happen through everything that we're doing. The last thing I wanted to say is that out of this opportunity for COVID and looking at, and looking at 2021 and everything else, one of the greatest gifts, aside from spending time with my son, has been meeting you guys. Look at the blessing that this has become for all of us. Look at this blessing that's become because, we have the social media, we have the ability to do this stuff. I can sit here and come to you live while I'm walking. I have met so many of you guys on private chats, Zoom chats, Facebook Messenger chats, everything else. And then also on the WhatsApp group. I'm on a WhatsApp group that's international. And that has been phenomenal too. I've met Steve Morgan, I've met Chris Foglio, I've met Mark Jarrett, I have met so many other people, Kim Adele, who else I met so many people on social network, on different mediums and modes. And this WhatsApp group has been really cool. And so tonight on my show, on Raw and Unscripted show, tonight at 7 o'clock, I'm having Mark Jarrett, who is the creator of a group of WhatsApp groups that is international. There's over 150 groups, and they're all designed specifically for what your area of interest is, the thing that you're passionate about, so you can get around like-minded people. Now, the technology is simple. You know, if you've been on WhatsApp before, you know it's texting. But at the same time, it's really powerful because all of these people from around the world are coming for a centered reason under an umbrella that is about making a difference in the world positively. So Mark's going to come on here. He's going to talk about what it is that you can do in these groups, how you can grow your business, how you can grow your networking, how you can grow your reach, whether you're B2C, B2B. It's really a fantastic opportunity. Before, it was kind of kept quiet. They kind of wanted it underground. But now, you know, he's inviting me to share this with the United States people so that we can get more people in there interacting and really reach, you know, extend our global reach. And it's not just texting. There's actually really cool forums where you can go in and there's like speaker situations, like you can see a stage, you can see tables, you can see people at tables. And then after that, you kind of go in these breakout rooms and you can see people, and it's not the same as being there, of course, but still the opportunity to connect with somebody that you would never meet and possibly have a connection is absolutely phenomenal. And if you're not taking advantage of that, especially if you're in business, if you're an entrepreneur, you know, I really highly suggest you tuning into the show tonight. It's gonna be different than what I normally do. Normally it's about personal development and everything. This is really more about setting the stage for 2021. I wanna look at more people who are in, you know, the goal planning sector, the people who are actually out there making success opportunities for people. So we could share that with you guys. We've talked enough about managing pain and all that other stuff. Now I really want to get into the fact of how do you set goals? How do you hold yourself accountable? You know, how do you make benchmarks and milestones? But this WhatsApp group has really been tremendous for meeting some fantastic people. I've only been on it for a short time, and the community there is really cool, a lot of laughter, and just a lot of like-minded people trying to make a difference in the world. I'm a part of a medical cannabis group that's really cool to see what they're doing. I don't deliver or do any of that stuff. I'm a consumer. But it's really fascinating to see what they're doing on a large scale to try to help patients and come up with different things and collaborate. So it's really cool. So it's gonna be on my show tonight, 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, the Raw and Unscripted show. And anyway, what's up? What's up, Chad? So really, honestly, guys, this whole Facebook Live post right here today was really just about making sure that you're centered, making sure that you're focusing on what is absolutely most important and not getting caught up in the whirlwind, tornado, hurricane crap that's going on around us that essentially we have zero control over, right? We have zero control over until things are certified. We have zero control over until investigations have been completed. But what we do have control over is what we're doing in the moment, where we're focusing and who we're being and where we're going. So I really encourage you guys to do that. I'm always here for you guys. Always reach out. I'm still doing the free coaching calls, so hit me up. I do a 1-hour session with you free. We focus on one thing. We get you set up for where it is that you need to be going, what you're going to be doing. Also, Scott and I, who's still on here. Scott, what's up, Oren? Good to see you. So Scott and I are currently on, we just finished up week 8 of our 12-week group coaching course that we started back in, I think, September. And we're going to be opening up the second class for that coming up here in January. So stay tuned for some more information on that. It's a fantastic group. It's an amazing program. We're teaching Scott's love and fear model along with my no excuses coaching. So it's really a balance of source energy, looking at, you know, the dynamics of who we are, who creator is, where we get tied up and locked into our emotions, the things that screw us up. So it's a combination of different thought aspects that really help both sides of your brain come to the middle and figure out where it is that what you're doing. So we're gonna be opening that up pretty soon. If you're interested, hit me up privately or hit Scott up privately. A fantastic program. It's so exciting to see the breakthroughs, really. I mean, it's unlike anything I've ever seen. So if you're interested in more of a group program to go with us to get your year started, let us know. We're taking early applications. We only want people who are really dead serious, people who are in it to win it, who are tired of being sick and tired of being tired, who are comfortably miserable, who just really want 2021 to be a banner year no matter what it is that you've been through in your life. Let's put that shit away and go be who we want to be. Let's go do what we want to do. Let's be the mark in the world that we want to change. Let's not sit there and bitch, and moan about everything that we don't have control over. That's a ridiculous waste of time, okay? So again, hit me up for a free coaching session. If you're interested in the group coaching, hit me up as well. We'll give you information. But please, just be you. Let go of all the expectations and all the limitations and all the limiting beliefs and everything else that you had in your life. and just go be you. Go rock and roll. Go fly your freak flag. Go have fun. Stop focusing on shit that doesn't work, all right? I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. No excuses, bitches. Yeah. Tina says, what's up, Tina? Go to Commando. Search this app before you try it. Is that another one of those apps where people are going so they can agree with each other? I'm sorry, I don't know. If you're on one of those apps, it's okay. It's okay. I know it's really cool to have everybody agree with you and have the same opinion. Anyways, that was sarcasm. All right. So anyways, I love you guys. Edwin, much love. Yeah, cannabis group, dude. And if you guys want to be in this WhatsApp group, seriously, hit me up. I can get you in. Before it was kind of a really low-key thing, but now we're opening it up, and fortunately Mark wants me to be a bullhorn on that. So anyways, I love you guys. I'm gonna go home and take care of my son, and then I gotta record a show, and then I gotta go get my back adjusted, and just having a great day. So I wish you guys lots of love, lots of freedom, and just be the change you want to see. All right, I love you guys. Peace.